Good afternoon, guys. It is the afternoon, just about. Welcome to another video. It's about 12:30 now. 1st of December today, and it's proper cold. You can probably see over there. It's a bit misty, a bit foggy, very damp, very chilly. I've been getting frost warnings on my car all the way here. I've come up to this tiny little river to do today a little bit of trotting because I was on this river a couple of days ago, if you saw the last video. And it just looked like within the next couple of days there was going to be enough clarity to do a bit of trotting, and there is. Fantastic. So with that in mind, I've got my ever faithful Daiwa Tournament Pro Rod, coupled with a spider, and coupled with my Garcia 506 Mark II closed face reel. I've got some 015 Reflo power mainline on here, 013 Fluorocarbon Hooklinks. I'll put all the details of the stuff I use down below so you can go and have a look in your own time, at your own leisure. Business end, I've got a Drake semi-dome top alloy stem stick float, and the reason for the semi-dome top is because we're chub fishing primarily. You may catch some roach, that'd be nice. I'm going to go fish bread flake with mashed bread. I have got with me here, as you can probably see behind me, got a bucket with a load of mashed bread in it, and I've got some bread for the hook. It's not Kingsmill 50/50. It's actually Warburton's bread in there. Just use a Kingsmill packet because it's airtight. So that is going to be the bait. I've got some worms as well, just in case we're struggling. But what I'm going to do is have a bit of a rove about. We're going to do a few swims. I've been putting a bit of bait in here. I thought I'd perhaps fish some of the swims I've not fished on this stretch before, this being the first one of them. Just trickling a bit of bait down here, just a short run. I think it's just going to be a case of picking off some fish from one fish from here, one fish from there, moving on. We'll have a bit of an exploring session. As I say, some of the swims I've not fished on this stretch. It's a waffle, isn't it? Let's get on with it. This river has been up, right up, and it's just dropping, just down to a nice height, and therefore a nice clarity. God, I'm rather concerned here about slipping in, and I really don't fancy getting wet. It's damp enough out here without getting in there as well. Right, let's get myself sorted out. I'll say the bread for the hook is Warburton's because it's nice and doughy and it stays on much better. I don't think you do much good with Kingsmill 50/50. Right. Quite often, these small rivers and trotting as well, especially to features like this, it doesn't take long. We'll know within sort of 10 minutes if we're going to get a bite or not. So I've not fished here before, so I've no idea of the depth. I've gone about 3 foot. We'll see what happens. That's grounding out already. Let's shallow that up a bit. Right. Come on, Mr. Chub. Nice bit of bread for you. Let's just hold that back. Getting a few plugs. There we go. Just had a few plucks. and then under it went. Feels like a chub. It's acting like a chub, trying to get in the edge. Well, that's cracking. About third run down. Wonderful stuff. No monster, but very welcome on a chilly day. Wonderful. That's cracking. Just holding that back then. Well, that's warmed me up. Brilliant. How's about that? It's a cracking fish to start with. Wonderful stuff. Oh, that's brilliant. When you've been fishing only a couple of minutes. Right. What we'll do is we'll get him in the edge here in the landing net for 5 minutes to see if we can winkle another one out. You never know. It's very deep in the edge there, as I say. Certainly don't want to fall in. Can't see the bottom. Fantastic. Wonderful. Mashed bread and bread flake. Can't beat it. As you saw, chucked a small handful of mashed bread in and just followed it through with a bit of flake. And it just, the bit of flake just looks like all the other particles. That's why I like to fish mashed bread rather than breadcrumb or liquidized bread. Because with mashed bread, you've got nice big particles in it. Blimey, he's trying to take me net here. Come on. Behave yourself. There we go. Right. I'll give it 5 minutes, see if we can get another one. But very, very often, this river, it's one and out. All his mates are probably cleared off now, I would imagine. Yeah, let's go. Well, a bit of bad news. I was just walking up from the last swim and I had a look in a couple of other places and realised I could see about a good 3 foot, if not 4 foot into the water up there. That's not great at all. I did get covered in teasels as well. I think I got them all off. But yeah, that's not great. It's certainly cleared a lot faster than I thought it would, this river. So I thought perhaps it might be a good idea to buy some cover. So I saw this. Again, I have fished this swim before, not exactly an exploratory session in this swim. I usually just drop a ledger up, obviously, near that what was an overhanging tree, what is now a big sort of raft and snag. That's all appeared since this last flood came through. I'm certainly not complaining, but again, we'll trick a little bit of this bread mashing for 5 minutes and then just run the float up to it and see if we can winkle a chub out, see if we can get this to run under a little bit, and or the bait, obviously not the float, just to run under that raft a little way, perhaps winkle a chub out. Bit of hit and hold in here, we get a bite. See, I'm holding that back really hard now, so the bait will be well under that raft. Went under then, I'm not sure it was a bite. Something happened. Throwing this bread well upstream as well to give it a chance to get down. When it gets to that raft, and we'll just run through behind that. Lots of freebies. That was a bite. Definite dip on the float then. Well, we certainly get some bites. Certainly some fish under there. Why we're not connected, I have no idea. My guess would be because it's small fish. Alright. Again, another bite, but again, I think a small fish. Just a dip, and then it just slowly pulled under. But so no, you kind of tell it's little fish. Just by the nature of the bite. I think it's time to move on again. Much more difficult than I thought it was going to be. I mean, it's fishing, you never quite know. But you think you get the conditions right. As I say, I think I've done better yesterday, to be honest. There we go. See, that's gone under. Once again, I think little uns. Looks like there's a nice swim just the other side of this tree, though. We'll get round there. And of course, all this mashed bread that's going past this raft and under through there is baiting up for us. That next swim does look nice down there. Nice run through. You can see through the trees. There we go. Oh, there we go. Now we're in. Oh, and it's off. That felt like a half decent fish as well. Oh, we're having one of those days, aren't we? Oh, you got to laugh. Well, if we hadn't killed the swim before, by hooking bumping off a little fish, that felt half decent. And what's going on with this hook? It's very sharp. I mean, it wasn't a monster, don't get me wrong, but it felt like a decent fish. There we go, that's gone under again, look. There we go. This is not a tiddler. Is it the same one? God, funny fight. That's a strange old fight. It's still quite deep. That's a reasonable fish, whatever it is. I'm presuming it's a chub. Well, I am now. No, it's trying to get any edge. Certainly is a chub. Half decent one as well. That's a nice fish. Cracking. Well, I wonder if that's the one we bumped off a minute ago. Got the net under him in case he flips. It's been stood up. But there we go. How's about that? Fantastic. Wonderful stuff. Right, we'll keep him in the edge in the hope that there's a few of them down there. I've had a few bites. It might have just been him all along. Oh, it's great. Happy now. Happy I'm doing something right. Yeah, I wonder if it was him that we bumped a minute ago. and he was just not too bothered about it, perhaps, who knows. Yeah, it was round about there as well. It was quite a long way out of this snag, good 6 foot in front of the snag, so he'd clearly come out. I mean, the float's 6 foot in front of the snag. The bread is probably a lot closer than that. Oh, it has, excuse me, huffing and puffing as well. Just seems to be bouncing from one cold to the next at the moment, courtesy of my youngest, whose hobby seems to be bringing colds home from school. And if it's not colds, it's COVID. She likes to share. She's a lovely kid, she likes to share. Again, I was holding back quite hard. I seem to want it very slow today. Even though there's a bit of clarity in the water, I really seem to want it very, very slow. I mean, I'm inching it through the swim. We'll have 5 minutes and then we will have a move, I think. Because whatever happens, we're baiting up that next swim down there. Because that looks nice through there. I don't think we're going to do anything else in here. Certainly after bumping one and then catching one. And I'm confident that, or reasonably confident that that's the one we bumped. It felt exactly the same when I struck into it, and it did exactly the same thing as well. The float almost disappeared like it was dragging under. I sort of came that way. I just held there. It literally, I think, just grabbed the bread and just sat there. So the float had gone past, and it was exactly like I was on the bottom. The float just slowly drew under, like it would if you snagged on the bottom. That again tells me they're not being particularly active. Perhaps it's this cold weather. It's been cold. The last week it's been proper cold, and we've had this cold flush of rain through. I thought they'd got used to it by now, but perhaps they're still acclimatising. Guessing the water's very cold, but unfortunately my temperature gauge is in my other bag, so I'm not able to do the water temperature. I'm guessing it's only going to be about 6 or 7 degrees. Right, the bread stayed on, so I'm having one more. For those of you who don't know as well, when I say I'm holding the float back, what I mean is I'm stopping it. You can probably see it out there. I'm holding it back very hard. As in, I'm not letting it go downstream at all. And then what I'm doing is just taking my rod through very slowly. I'm trapping the line with my index finger. I'm just letting the float go through by moving the rod. And then I'm just letting some line off. And letting it go down again. Very, very slow. I'm literally inching it through. And both proper bites I've had today have been when I've just inched it through like this. They don't seem to want to chase a bait at all or go out of their way to intercept it. And that tells me the water's cold. And I'm just holding it back very hard. Just holding it stationary just in front of that raft there, so the bait's underneath it. I think we're done here. Let's move. Let's move. One and out. If there's a few chub there, and they're not scared, they usually get a bite quite quickly afterwards. Alright, another swim here. A bit of fast water to the side of me, and then obviously some nice snaggy trees in the water there. You can see a bit of fast water up there. We have a back eddy over there. Back eddy to our left as well. Bit of flow in here, which is nice. I'll give it 10 minutes in here. Cool, it's noticeable now. We're definitely starting to lose a lot. Really noticeable. It's been very enjoyable. A few hours though. We're not done yet, but even if we are, enjoyed that. It's been a nice few hours out. That was a bite, I think. Little fish bite. Oh. Oh, that was a bite, definitely. There we go, really holding back. Rod tip went then there. Definitely a bite. Probably been mugged as well. Definitely seem to be holding over there. Yes, we have. Yeah, when you're holding back very hard, so because the line's all out straight, and the float is out straight to the olivette, and the line's straight down to the olivette, you're pretty much in contact with the bait like you would be if you were quiver tipping. Feel the tip go. Certainly pulled round then. I don't think it's very big though. That's a bite. Ooh, getting the rod tip was going. Very tap, 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 tap. No. Oh, we're definitely losing the slot. Oh, sunset's not for half an hour yet. And because it's so overcast, it's going already. But I think if it hadn't been so overcast, I think we'd really struggled today. We really would have struggled. It's not been easy anyway. I think we'd have probably been better with static baits today. Just from the bites I'm getting, they do seem to want it very, very static or slow. Come on then. Come on, Mr. Chubby. Let's have one more before then we can go home. It's starting to get a bit chilly now. I think we're on the bottom there, aren't we? Yeah. Oh, we found the depth anyway. Seems to just get a bit deeper. And not surprisingly, where I'm getting these bites seems to be about the deepest spot. There we go, that was one. Convinced it's small fish plucking away at it though. And again. must be a chub in this pool. Can't believe there's not a chub in this pool. There we go. I've never bumped so many fish off in my life. That's a reasonable fish as well. Oh, can you believe it? Another one of those funny little bites. They're just feeding so funny today. I seem to be just not really that bothered. It's the bite we've been waiting for. We've been working for. Again, I thought it was little fish down here and it wasn't, clearly. Oh, frustrating. How frustrating. I'm teasing this bread around this pool. Again, funny little bite. Oh, there's a little fish. Just playing with it. I think that's our chance gone, I would think. Because it wasn't like I just bumped him. He was on for a few seconds and then he wasn't. Well, they must be feeding in a very... a little pluck down again. There we go. Blimey, can you believe it? God, I can't believe we got another chance. Feeding in such a funny way today. Oh my goodness, there you go. Bumped off again. Hook still there. Bumped off. They're just... Goodness. Nothing wrong with the hook. Sticky sharp. Just, I don't know what's going on. It's just like they're playing with it. Oh dear. Well, I'll console myself with the fact that we've had the bites. But if that was the same fish, I can't imagine you're going to take it again. How stupid are they, chub? And if I've now lost 2 of them, I really can't imagine I'm going to get a bite off anything else. Oh, so frustrating. And I have no idea why. Aside from these funny little bites that they're giving me. It's like they're in here especially. I've been getting like little plucks on the rod tip and I thought it was small fish. I think they're just snatching at it. Just in their lips, just grabbing at it. I think we've had it in here. I'm sure it's properly getting dark now. I don't think we've got time to spend 10 or 15 minutes getting another swim going. So that's one thing I've noticed as well today. It's taken a good few minutes in each swim to get anything going. It'd be great if you could just sort of stick around in one swim and get it going and stick around in it, but I'm not going to catch too many fish. It's a tiny little river, as you can see. I'm not going to catch too many fish in the same swim. No, nothing in this last swim. Gonna have to settle for a draw, I think, today. Fish 2, Nick 2. It's properly dark now. Certainly getting that way, so I can barely see this float. Time to go. My hands are like blocks of ice. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I am going to try and get out again tomorrow, hopefully, and I'm thinking at the moment I'll perhaps get out on the Avon, do a similar thing on the Avon. We've got a chance of some bigger fish there. You know, here, obviously, it's a tiny little river. I mean, I've got my 15-foot rod there. I could probably lay it across here where I'm stood. It's a very small little river, but on the Avon, we've got a chance of some bigger chub. So, yeah, perhaps it'd be worth a go there. I'll have a look at the weather, the conditions, and see exactly what tomorrow brings, and we'll decide then. But for now, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Seeing me pull my hair out, what I've got left. Tight lines. Enjoy your own angling when you get out there. Many thanks to the channel patrons for your fantastic support, and I'll see you all again very soon.